The closer that NASA's 3IATLAS gets to Mars, the more alien it looks. And you won't believe the latest images of this thing. Stick around until the end of this video when we reveal the latest close encounter. You've never seen anything like it. But first things first, exactly what is 3IATLAS? Well, in November of 2022, NASA reported they had detected a weird interstellar object hurtling through our solar system at 45 miles per second. They nicknamed it 3I Atlas, because it was the third interstellar object to be found in our solar system, and it was discovered by the aptly named Advanced Technology Large Area Survey, hence the name 3IATLAS. It's difficult to categorize this thing at first glance. It looked a bit like a comet with a long tail streaming behind it, but after a few days, astronomers realized it didn't have a coma or a nucleus. In other words, it wasn't icy like a comet, and it didn't appear to have any solid body either. Astronomers were baffled by this thing. They didn't know what it was. They only knew it was definitely not from around here. In January 2023, scientists revealed their best guess as to what it was, but they still weren't 100% sure. They thought it might be an iceberg made out of nitrogen ice. This would explain why it had a tail without having a nucleus. A solid piece of debris could easily get knocked off such an iceberg and then form a tail as it interacted with the sun's ultraviolet radiation. So that's what they think it is, but they aren't really sure. What is certain is that it's about half a mile wide, which makes it huge, and it's currently speeding its way through the inner solar system. It passed Earth's orbit back in February and it's now en route to Mars. So let's talk about these new pictures and videos that have left scientists scratching their heads. These new images are actually videos put together by researchers at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory who used data gathered by a network of infrared telescopes called the Worldwide Telescope Network. The first video they published is pretty fascinating. It shows the movement of 3I Atlas over a period of 2 months, starting from February until late March. As you can see, it has a very faint cloud of dust surrounding it, but it doesn't have a well-defined tail like some comets do. Instead, the dust just kind of floats around aimlessly behind the main body. Now, remember how scientists think that 3I Atlas might be some kind of weird iceberg made of nitrogen? Well, if that's the case, then this cloud of dust should be made up of nitrogen gas. Scientists say that if it were a comet, you would expect to see water vapor here instead. So it's good that they got confirmation that this is anti-comet, because it supports their hypothesis that it's an interstellar iceberg. Unfortunately for scientists, however, the observations don't completely line up with the predictions. If 3I Atlas were an actual iceberg floating through space, then the dust cloud should have dissipated long ago. It shouldn't even be there at all if it were made of nitrogen. And yet it's still there, still floating along beside the main body of this thing. And that brings us to the second video that scientists recently released. Here they're zooming in on the main body of 3IATLAS. What they found is so baffling that they're calling it alien-like, and you'll see why in a minute. Here's what they wrote in their report. Over the course of the observations, which spanned a time frame of 56 days, the object showed no significant changes in brightness or the overall appearance of the coma. This lack of evolution is unusual for objects that are known to be of cometary origin. As we said, scientists think that 3IATLAS is not a comet, but that it's some kind of alien iceberg. However, it's acting more like a comet than an iceberg. Comets usually start off small and then get bigger and brighter as they approach the sun. 3IATLAS hasn't changed at all since they've been observing it. It's literally acting more like a UFO than an interstellar iceberg. And that's not the only bizarre thing going on here. Scientists have also noticed something strange about its shape. Again, if it were some kind of interstellar iceberg, then it should have a much rounder shape. The surface of an iceberg is rounded by the water pressure. It wouldn't have sharp edges or any kind of geometric shapes on its surface. And yet when scientists analyzed the surface of 3IATLAS, they found that it looked almost man-made. Here's what they wrote in another report. The surface of the object appears to be covered in small-scale quasi-static structures on the order of 10 meters across. These structures remained relatively stable throughout the observation campaign. They go on to say that the most plausible explanation for this is that it's some kind of manufactured object. Here's what they write. Such an array of structures on the surface of an object moving through interstellar space would imply an artificial origin. This is pretty wild stuff. We've gone from thinking that 3IATLAS is a big hunk of space ice to thinking that it's some kind of alien spacecraft. And honestly, it does look kind of alien-like. You almost expect to see little green men popping out of those openings on the side. It's important to keep in mind that this thing is about half a mile wide, so if there are little green men living inside of it, then they would need to be quite advanced to build a city that large. Maybe it's a mothership of some kind, or maybe it's some kind of alien research station. That's being powered by the sun as it passes by. Of course, it could be something completely ordinary, like a chunk of debris that broke off of an icy planetoid somewhere in the outer solar system. There are so many questions here, and unfortunately, we won't have answers anytime soon. 31ATLAS is far away from any planet right now. Its closest encounter with Mars will happen in early February 2024. That's when it will pass within 21 million miles of the red planet, and that's as close as it will get to any planet. After that, it will turn around and head back out into the outer solar system. By the time it reaches Pluto, it will be more than 4 billion miles away from Earth, and that's too far for any of our telescopes to detect it. It will be a tiny dot of light in the sky, and it will be moving away forever. We may never know what 3I Atlas is, but one thing is for sure, it's not from around here. Scientists are pretty confident that it's an interstellar visitor. It entered our solar system through the heliosphere. That's the protective bubble that surrounds our solar system and protects us from the harsh environment of interstellar space. Unfortunately, 3I Atlas has already passed through the heliopause and it's now in interstellar space. It won't be coming back. But while it's here, we might as well learn as much as we can from it. For now, that means keeping track of its movements and hoping it stays on its current trajectory. If it changes course, then there's a chance it could come dangerously close to Earth. Even though it's not very big, it's moving so fast that it would cause a lot of damage if it hit our planet. Luckily, according to the folks over at NASA, the odds of it hitting Earth are extremely low, so sit back and relax. For now, 3IATLAS is just passing through. It's on its way to Mars, where it will perform its closest flyby in early 2024. And that's when we'll have another chance to get some close-up footage. If it continues to look as alien-like as it does now, then we could be in for a big surprise. It has been a while since we have seen an object come from deep space and approach our planet like this one. Its trajectory is currently taking it closer and closer towards Mars, and it's causing people all over the world to become more and more curious about what exactly it could be. So far, astronomers have been able to confirm that it has been in our solar system for quite some time. But there are so many questions that still haven't been answered. Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host and you are watching this channel. Join me today as we look at this alien visitor that seems to be getting stranger by the day. If you love all things space, then make sure you subscribe for updates on all of our amazing videos. Let's get started. This is not the first time we have spoken about this object. We made a previous video about it when it was spotted coming in fast towards our planet, and now it's changed course and set its sights on Mars. What makes this object so unique is how fast it was moving when it entered our solar system. It's very rare for an object to enter the solar system at such high speed, and that alone made people start speculating about what it could be. And now it's changed course. After studying the object for some time, astronomers have concluded that it's most likely a comet. They also say it will pass close to Mars on February 28, 2024. This discovery has led to a lot of questions being asked about comets and what they are. Comets are known for their distinctive appearance as they hurtle through space. Their composition often includes ice, dust, and rock, which makes them look like giant hairy snowballs. As they get closer to the sun, the warmth causes some of the materials to evaporate, creating the iconic tail that we associate with these objects. Comets can be huge. Some are only a few miles wide, while others are several miles across. This one is thought to be around 1 kilometer in diameter, which is relatively small compared to others that have been discovered before it. In terms of mass, it's estimated to be around 4.5 billion kilometers away. That's roughly the same mass as Comet Neo is, which was spotted in 2020, however. That one was much larger than this one. One of the things that makes this object so interesting is that it's not coming from the Kuiper Belt. Most objects that have entered our solar system at high speed in recent history have come from this area, which lies just beyond Neptune's orbit. Scientists believe that this object may actually be coming from the Oort cloud. This is a theoretical sphere of icy rocks that is thought to surround our solar system. It is much farther away than the Kuiper Belt, so it would make sense that this object took so long to reach us. Another thing that's interesting about this object is that it appears to be made up of two parts. This is similar to other comets that have been observed in the past. For example, Comet Hale-Bopp had two distinct nuclei, which are the solid bodies at the center of the comet. This object's two parts are thought to be linked together by a thin bridge of ice and dust. However, it's also possible that they are simply two separate objects that are traveling together. There are still many mysteries surrounding this object, but thankfully astronomers are on the case. One of the things they hope to learn more about is its composition. This will help them better understand where the object came from and how it ended up in our solar system. Currently, they are still trying to figure out if it's mostly made up of ice or rock, or perhaps something else entirely. Another thing that astronomers are interested in learning more about is the object's origin. As we mentioned earlier, it's not from the Kuiper Belt. Therefore, it must have come from somewhere else in the solar system or perhaps even outside of it. By studying its composition and trajectory, astronomers hope to get clues as to where it came from. We know that this object passed Earth's orbit several times before it began its journey towards Mars. It's possible that it will do the same thing again after it passes Mars and head back out into deep space. However, it's also possible that it will continue on a path that takes it even further into our solar system. As it gets closer to Mars, we should be able to learn more about it. Telescopes on Earth and in space should be able to get a better look at its composition and structure. This should give us a better idea of what it's made of and where it came from. In addition to the scientific interest in this object, there is also a lot of public interest. People all over the world are looking up at the sky and wondering what exactly they are seeing. There are even some conspiracy theories circulating about what the object could be. Some people believe that it's a sign of the apocalypse, while others believe that it's evidence of extraterrestrial life. Of course, there is no evidence to support either of these claims, but that hasn't stopped people from speculating. So what should we call this thing? Should it be called a comet or something else? And what should we call it? Should we name it after a famous person or place? Or should we just keep calling it by its official designation? Ultimately, it's up to astronomers to decide what to call it, but that doesn't mean that we can't have some fun with it. I think it would be cool if we could come up with a name for it that reflects its unique characteristics. Perhaps we could call it the Martian Visitor or the Oort Cloud Object. If you could name this object, what would you call it? Let us know in the comments below. As we learn more about this object, we will definitely be making more videos about it. So stay tuned for updates. You can also follow us on social media for all the latest news. We love sharing pictures and videos that we think you'll find interesting. So what are you waiting for? Click that button and join our community today. But for now, let's return to the video. It's been fascinating to watch this object as it approaches our solar system. It's not every day that we get to see something so mysterious and unknown. It's a reminder that there is so much that we do unknow about the universe, and that keeps us humble. It's also inspiring to think about all the discoveries that have been made in the past and will be made in the future. Who knows what other amazing things we will find out about this object? Or perhaps it will lead to the discovery of something else entirely. Thanks for watching, everyone. I've been your host, and you've been watching this channel. If you want to learn more about fascinating topics like this, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. We love having you in our community and look forward to sharing more amazing videos with you in the future. Until next time, keep looking up.